Apocalyptic Shadow for version 3.8 is here. This one is titled Primate Night, another monkey-themed one. So we're going to take a look at the various buffs and bosses, talk about teams, do a little demo, and let's get into it. The big effect here for this one, it says when on the left-hand side here, when enemy targets with Steadfast Safeguard or Weakness Broken, the spell's control states for all allies. So that's the normal when you break the boss effect on every Apocalyptic Shadow. This time, it immediately gives you all your action points back. And the bonus here is you get increased break damage, of course. All break damage taken by all enemy targets is increased by 25%, and Memo Sprite skill damage by 15%. So, even though this is the break shill update with Dahlia coming out, they're still giving you, still letting you use your Memo Sprites. Obviously, those things are not huge buffs, so the break damage buff is actually pretty nice. So, it's a nice little extra bit. You don't necessarily have to play those teams, but it does help. Looking at the actual bosses for this one, we've got Argenti and we've got the big TV monkey thing, Blaze Nana. So for Argenti, he's an old boss, you've seen him, but he summons his spears, and taking out his spears like buff him and each other, and then when you take them out, they can buff you, right? And so in this particular version for Apocalyptic Shadow, he has a different combat stance here. I'm not going to read through all of this, but there is a section where he can just put the 4 spears or statues or whatever they're supposed to be in front of him, and you can't actually hit him until you take them out. And these aren't really all that important. There's kind of slight adjustments to the fight, but mechanically it doesn't really change a whole lot. So this is the most straightforward fight, just like any Apocalyptic Shadow. You're gonna want to take out you want to take out the small guys, break everything as quickly as possible, break the boss as quickly as possible, and do as much damage as you can while he's broken and move to the next phase. So just like any other Apocalypse Shadow. So this fight's pretty straightforward. Argenti does have a lot of HP. That is the world we live in here, but nothing too much to worry about. I will say this is a pretty AoE focused Apocalyptic Shadow, so Argenti's going to have most of the time 4 to 5 targets out, so AoE attacking is going to be nice. Same with Node 2, but we'll get to that in a second. As far as the buffs we have available in Node 1, so this is the one where they are going to give you the break buff. We've got Shatter Strike, increased break damage dealt by all allies by 10%. When an enemy target enters the weakness break state, further increases break damage by 5%. So this effect can stack up to 4 times. So you can get up to an additional 20, so 30 extra break damage increase, plus the overall bonus of the 25% break damage taken. So that starts to get pretty substantial. It does require breaking a lot of enemies, of course, but you will be doing that because there's going to be a lot of those spear things or statues or whatever that you got to kill. Other options here, we've got Line Breaker. The first character in the lineup ignores 50% of the enemy target's defense when dealing damage. This is obviously going to be good for any hyper carry team. You might immediately think Phynon just because then it's just him and you don't care if everybody else is doing damage, which is fine. But really, you could do this with any hyper carry team. I think this is like the general if you don't fit the other 2 buffs. And the third one is interesting. Unto Apotheosis, when an ally target consumes skill points, increases their crit damage by 6%, stacking up to 10 times. So currently not a lot of characters that care about skill points. It's mostly Archer and maybe Dill, Danhung, Imbiber Lune. There's probably others I'm forgetting, but those are the first ones that come to mind that use like a lot of skill points. And I don't think Archer's great in this fight. I'd have to test him. I guess if he can take out the spears and the statues, that's fast that it doesn't matter that there's so many of them. But I feel like I'd probably prefer to have an AoE character in this fight. And, you know, you can stack up to 60% crit, and if you're using either of those characters, it'd be pretty fast that you'd hit that, which is a nice bonus, but not like a huge amount. I don't feel like that's a huge game-changing amount. I don't think it would be enough to make Dill relevant in this fight, so I don't know. This will be carrying over into 4.0 for a bit, so maybe there's new characters coming that are going to be related to skill points. We'll see. Either way, I think you're going to be either using your break team or the middle buff in this case. And so for my team, I am going to do the break shill, but I'm not going to do Firefly. I like to try to mix it up on these a little bit. So I'm going to use my extremely rare, never seen before character named Rappa. You might have seen her in the story, but she's impossible to get these days, so I'm going to use her. And I'm going to go Sustainless. So we're going to run the Dahlia, we're going to run Fugue, and we're going to run Harmony Trailblazer. I have E1S1 Rappa, E0S1 the Dahlia, E1S1 Fugue, and then of course I'm running Harmony Trailblazer with Dance Dance Dance. So it's a very solid break team that we're going to throw at it. For Node 2, we have the Blaze Nana boss. This is the big TV monkeys. This one is interesting because, yes, you are still trying to break the enemies, but you can kind of do it in a different way. So, as with any of the TV fights, like if you hit them, they change, modes or whatever. And in this particular version, it's probably just going to be easier for me to explain than try to click on these and read them all. But in this particular version, we're going to see in the fight, each enemy is going to have a counter, and when you hit them, the counter will go up. And if you reach, and they all have different amounts that range from either 3 hits to the main bosses, like 8 hits. And if you can just hit them a lot, they will break. And the thing is, the counter will reset, I think, if they get their turn. So you have to be just constantly hitting a lot. So this one, even more than the first fight, you're really going to want some AoE so that you can hit all the enemies as efficiently as possible. Of course, we'll get to my team in a second. I'm going to just ignore that and play Anaxa, but we'll talk about that in a second. For the buffs, we've got 3 things here. Past Life, Shadowed Reverie. When there are 3 ally memo sprites or more currently on the field, increases all allies' damage dealt by 60%. So obviously that's favoring the caster's team. Although it does force you to play at least 2 other characters with memo sprites. And keep in mind, with both casters and Evernight, their memo sprites are not always on the field. There's actually quite a bit of time that their memo sprites are not on the field. I think with casters, at least, it's on the field when it matters, so it's not that big a deal. And Cyrene, of course, her memo sprite, which is herself, is not out until she uses her ultimate. So there's actually going to be quite a bit of time that this buff is not on, although if you're playing Casteress, it'll be there when you need it. Kind of the same with Evernight, because I guess when she's attacking, her memo sprite will be out. So I don't think it's that big a deal, but just something to think about. And obviously, other memo sprites like Aglaia are not really that important for memo sprite buffs. Second one, Whirlwind Turn. After all allied targets attack an enemy target with 1 or more dot states, increase their speed for 3 turns. This is the dot buff. I think this is kind of lame. Like 25% speed is, I'm assuming it doesn't stack. I didn't test it, but that's not really that great a buff compared to some of the other things they're handing out. And dot is just kind of bad in break, an Apocalyptic Shadow. Although I will say in this particular fight, since it's not exactly about reducing toughness bars, it's just trying to get hits in, that actually could be pretty good. But it's an interesting one. As for the third one, Knowledge and Decorum, while any character following the path of erudition is in this team, increase all allies, all type res pen by 15%. So I think this one is primarily targeted at the Herda. This is a good fight for the Herda since it's ice weakness. Although, again, you know, the weakness doesn't really matter all that much with this fight. But, you know, I'm going to be trying to use Anaxa, who is obviously erudition as well. You could also, if you wanted to just, you know, for some reason, if you wanted to ignore the break buff in the first half, you could play Rappa in the second half, who Rappa is also historically pretty good against the Blaze Nana boss. But I'm going to do Anaxa because it's fun. It is true he technically, each of his bounce attacks only hits 4 enemies instead of 5, so you're like objectively worse than a full AoE attack. But with this lineup, he's going to attack so many times that it'll make us up for it. So, you know, hitting 4 targets on one attack sure sounds bad compared to 5 targets on one attack, but when you're doing that those 4 targets, you know, up to 4 times in one turn, in a mode where you're trying to hit them as many times before their turn comes up, then it actually works out pretty decent. Now, in my testing, is Anaxa better than running the Herda team with Anaxa? Because you could do that too. No. If you had Herda, Tribi, and Anaxa, or Herda, Tribi, and Jade, or even Herda, Tribi, and, you know, regular Herda, you'd probably be doing better than with this team. But it's going to work. It's fun. If you're wondering why I'm playing Hyacine instead of Danheng PT or you know, any of the other normal sustains you would run with Anaxa, one, it's basically double the charge build for Cyrene, and 2, this particular fight, when you break the boss, you get all your skill points back, which will help compensate for using skill points with Hyacine. Also, you can play Hyacine more skill point positive in this fight, since her max HP buff from her ultimate is not really that important to us, since we're not getting any damage from it. So it's mostly to charge Cyrene faster, and we can get away with it in this particular fight. So that's enough talking. Let's do a demo. All right. So we've got Sustainless Rappa here. I have recently tweaked my Rappa build to get a little bit more energy regen, because I do find that's my biggest problem with Rappa, is sometimes missing her ultimate rotation, and even now I still will sometimes. So I have Rappa's ult and I could advance her, but I'm going to get HMC and Fugue's buffs up first. Okay, and then now I am going to, because we've got Dahlia's skill and her ultimate up, we've got Fugue's buff up, and we've got Harmony Trailblazer's buff up, so we're ready to just start blasting. Yep, hit almost 2 million on the first shot, which is pretty good. Now, the only problem in this fight is when it does get down to just Argenti, Rappa is not that great on single target damage. It's not bad either. It's not the worst, but I would not say that it's her forte. Okay, so you can see I've got Rappa's ultimate right back again. Now with her, I do have E1, S1 Rappa. I guess I didn't talk about that. And I don't remember if it's her E1 or her light cone that makes it so you gain some extra energy when you're coming out of your ult, but that's very helpful. And then of course you gain energy when you break, and I think when you kill an enemy. I think that's the rules. I probably should have checked that before I started talking about it. I'm just a guy on the internet, folks, that pretends to be an expert at this game. So, like, for example, I probably should not have used Fugue's ult there so that Rappa would have more to break. But we do still have one enemy there, so it's not bad. Oh, and the spears or statues or whatever dying also gave me a little extra energy, so that made up for it.
Stay in step. The mood is set. Let the show begin. Dreams do come true. Immolated my dance. Memories. All done. So beautiful. Clouds scattered.
Yep, we're just gonna keep blasting them here. I'll just miss breaking him. And, you know, don't underestimate the damage being done by the rest of the break team.
Share good fortunes.
It all adds up.
Immolated my dance.
It's one of the many advantages with the Dahlia versus Ruan Mei, with Ruan Mei doing, like, no damage. Nope, we got it. Alright. 3782. That is pretty great. It makes me curious what I would get with Firefly Sustainless. I'm going to have to try that later. But, hey, Rappa. She's pretty good. Hoyo, rerun her. Anyway, let's move on then to Node 2. And we're going to do the Anaxa squad. Okay. This team I didn't say what I have, so I do have it's only E0 S0 Anaxa. I don't have anything with him, so I'm running him with Cosmic Enterprise, and I've got E0 S1 Cyrene, so I do have her light cone. I've got E0 S0 Cerydra, so I'm only using the that event light cone. I can't remember the name of it right now. And the big investment is my Hyacine, who is E1S1. And so, like I said, she's mostly here to help build the Cyrene stacks faster. But also, she does a lot of damage. Do not sleep. Well, I was going to say don't sleep on Hyacine's damage, but everybody knows she does a lot of damage. That's not some kind of secret. We all know. Little Ika is the most powerful entity in this game. Now, the skill points are a little messy early on here, but you do get them back as one of the effects from turning the TVs off, and when you break the main boss. So you can see, if you look, there's the little red circles with the counters. You see the 3 or 5, 5 of 8, 3 or 5, and each enemy has like a different counter. So like I think some of them even go down to like 3 or 4 only that are needed to break them. But that's what we're aiming for, is just trying to hit as many times as possible. So that's another way Hyacine's really helping us out here, because she is super fast and attacks a lot. And eventually Cyrene, when she gets into her ultimate, she will also be attacking a fair amount, AoE attacking. Alright, so Anaxa's getting his full Cerydra blast here. Sneak my ultimate in. Yeah, so you see that guy popped up, he's only 4. So Hyacine alone is about to drop 3 on him. And now Cyrene's ready. So we only need to buff Cerydra once, and then she action advances Anaxa. So I believe Cerydra's buff mostly just increases her buff, so that it'll buff Anaxa more, which is why I always do hers first. And then, depending on where Anaxa is on the turn order, which it looks like... Okay, he's only 2 away, so I'm gonna let... and that actually works out, because we're gonna put Cerydra onto Anaxa and get him to 5, which means he'll get his double skill. Or quadruple skill, I should say. So now we just gotta start blasting and do as much damage as we can, right? So I'm gonna have Anaxa go now. Get all his shots in, so he's gonna take 4 shots. And then we're gonna use Cerydra's second ult to call him back up. Hey, Cerydra can get, or Cyrene can get some damage in too. Okay.
Look, with this divine power, I reforge all things.
I never get tired of just blasting away with Anaxa. It's so much fun. Just took 6 attacks and an ult in 1 turn, basically. And now the skill points open up a little more too, so that I should be able to skill a little more with Cerydra. And this is why Cyrene's so good with him. We can just keep calling him up. You know, that said, he's not doing like a ton of damage each turn, but he's just taking so many turns. Oh, we don't have skill points. And it's nice with Cerydra because you really only have to get to 5 of 6. I'm actually going to hold off on skilling with Hyacine now. So long as that it's at 6 of 6 on his second hit, then it will trigger the extra attack, which is nice. Yep. We can call Anaxa up for 1 more attack before... I think we're going to be coming out of break here. So we didn't quite make it through the first phase. But now that Cyrene has used her ult, we should be moving a lot faster now. Gonna try to prioritize skilling with Cerydra now.
To the defeat, your downfall is absolute.
Look, with this divine power, I reforge all things.
Come on, we're so close. Can Cyrene do it? Not quite. I'm gonna... Alright, Hyacine can definitely finish that. Okay. And that way I can hang on to Cyrene's ability to her ult. Okay. So we had to use that 1 skill to get the implant to start getting the double hits. But we're good now. And this should be enough, I think, to break everybody. No, we didn't get the boss, but we'll get him now. No. I probably shouldn't have skilled with Hyacine. Oh well.
I'm just a frail scholar. Insanity. To the soul.
To the defeat, your downfall is absolute.
We're just gonna action advance Anaxa anyway, so
Don't blink. No reason. Enlighten the truth.
What's the matter?
we're still gonna get the quadruple shot. Sorry, folks, if I don't really have too much more to say on this fight, because a lot of it is just watching Anaxa blast stuff, which is fun. Maybe not the most compelling video, although I don't know. I think even watching it is fun. It's very satisfying.
Press the attack. This is eternity.
All right,
Just a frail
another wave.
to the soul. Insanity.
Then we're gonna ultimate,
Look, with this
and then we're gonna call him right back up.
forge all things.
Don't blink. Maybe some enlightened truth.
Insanity. To the soul.
If all is black or white, there'd be no charm.
Okay, so he's already got 6 out of 6. So I could use the ult because he can go up to 8. Yeah, I might as well.
Your downfall is absolute. Have some sunshine. Things all energized. It's the answer.
Insanity. To the soul. Insanity. To the soul.
And he's already in position at 5 of 6
Forge all things.
to
Fight for me.
fire again. And we've got Cyrene to call him back up, so we can get one more in before
Destruction with me.
the weakness break ends. It's probably not gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be enough, but well, maybe.
To the soul. Insanity. To the soul.
Pretty close.
All energized.
Look, with this divine power, I reforge all things.
Come on, so close. Cerydra, you can do it.
To the defeat, your downfall is absolute.
There we go. All right, 3443. Not bad. It's comfortably over the 3300 mark. I'm very happy with 7225 total for that particular squad. Rappa kind of carrying there, but even so, very good result. Very fun teams to play. Rappa's also very fun. I love playing her. She still has, in my opinion, the coolest ultimate in the game. So pretty fun. Interesting mechanics with the Blazenana boss. Like I said, I would probably recommend something with a higher attack frequency and AoEs, but Anaxa works pretty good too. And yeah, that'll do it for this one. So, hopefully, that was helpful information, or at least a little bit entertaining. You can like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, all those things if you liked it. And we'll catch everybody next time. Bye.